Let's see. Invite Miss Carrie Palura right here so we can get. Should be there. She is popping up. Let's see how it's going to go. We're going to get this situated. Let's see. And we're going to figure this out like we normally do. But today's topic is going to be, what do we say? Having the perfect energy in your relationship, right? Miss Paluro just came back from Burning Man. She was just telling me the stories of the situation, but I don't want to steal her thunder and everything else. Reintroduce yourself and what we're going to be going over for the Carrie and Gordon show from Boundaries and Brotherhood. And let me get it all set up, our normal routine, and let's figure this out.
All right, cool. Yeah. So my name is Carrie Polero. I am a relationship and mindset coach, and I help high achieving women stop chasing love and just like really own the prize identity that they are. And
Right.
yeah, and I just got back from Burning Man, and it was an
Tell us some,
experience.
tell us the situation because the situation was so dire that she made a post, and this is what the uh the show is about today. Because having that energy in the right place can either make or break you in your relationship for the situation that happened.
I gotta say this, like every time we go, Abel creates such an amazing experience. And I'm
Right.
grateful that my first experience was like over the top, right? Like every year I
Okay.
go, there is some type of learning. Like the first
Hmm.
year, it was just like exquisite, right? Like I had this, like we had a brand new RV that we rented, all of
Right.
like the comforts of home. This was my very first time, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This
Right.
is
Okay.
great. Um, and then every year we go after that, like like something happens, and it's always comfortable, but yes, it's not like home, this year, Abel like really created an opportunity for us. He bought an RV because it just made sense. He's like, I'm going to buy an RV.
Right.
And we'd only had it, I don't even think 48 hours. So we didn't really have like time to kind of figure out what worked, what didn't work, all the things, right? Like we knew that it was older, but we get out there and within 24 hours, like the generator just like it would run, but it wouldn't connect to it wouldn't produce electricity and it wouldn't
Oh,
run the
geez.
AC. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, and then it's amazing how your mind processes information because I could have, and if it were my first year, I probably would have complained, been pissed off,
Right.
because I was so different like 4 years ago. This
Oh,
time it was
absolutely.
like, man, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, this is just part of it, and we get to make it work. And how do I get to make this work? You go into like a survival mode too of cool. You get to know your neighbors.
Oh, yeah, because you got to rely on them for other stuff. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and like the coolest things happen. Like people came up to us and said, "Hey, do you have a connection for a generator?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, we
Right.
have a ton of them." Because he's prepared, Abel's prepared for everything, right? We go, we try to help the guy, and none of them worked. But his whole thing was, look, if you can help me connect to my generator, man, just connect to us, and then you guys are good. We were trying everything to make it
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
it was great. That particular family, it was like a whole family that was there. There's probably like
Wow.
8 or 10 of them. The mother, they brought their mom. She was cooking for everybody around.
It's like
It
a whole
was
camping experience kind of thing. The energy
it
is great.
was. And I've always camped with like a literal camp and you can use their resources, but this time we were on our own and we had to utilize our own resources. And so you get creative. Everybody's just like such great energy, wanting to help each other. And I mean, and that's really what it's about. It's
Right. 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 Right.
like situations aren't going to be perfect in life, but it's how you respond to them, whether or not they can be an enjoyable experience. I mean, as enjoyable as it can be, or
Right.
it's like all about your mindset. I could have blown that up and made it a shitty experience. Any one of us could have, but it was
Of
like, cool.
course.
Like, what
But
do we do here?
that's so perfect because that came down 4 years ago. Yeah, that shit would have hit the fan. You would have blew it up in your face. Things would have been all grumbling. But I wanted to ask you this, right? Knowing that how you used to be before with the energy, what today's the topic of the day is, does your energy affect your relationship? How you look at it, the perspective of it, right? Now, Miss Carrie used to be a certain type of rah rah feminist movement type of gal, but she's still my sister. But regardless, she's still my sister. But at the same time, she's not found that. I wouldn't say she's found a new perspective, and
Hmm.
the energy that we put into our relationships affects the outcome, right?
Hmm.
Because even your posts, when one of your posts, if you're not following her, Miss Carrie on social media, right? Knowing that story, that doesn't care how perfect you look, right? It'll strip you down to whatever it happens, bare bones, and what's left is that energy. That energy is so important in, like you said, the family that was next to you, your relationships, how you handle it, because you guys could be bickering back and forth. You could be holding some resentment. You could be doing all kind of stuff. How has your perspective changed knowing that you have the right energy, basically?
It's, you know, what I look for today is like the possibility. Okay, so,
Nice.
it's like, well, yeah, generator took a shed. Like, we don't have AC, we don't have electricity. What is the possibility that you can find? What can you create in this moment rather than an older version of me would have just sat and bitched and complained, right? Like, I wouldn't have accomplished anything. That wouldn't have done
At
anything but
all.
just brought down the mood for everyone. So it was kind of like, okay, what can we create? Let's start getting creative and resourceful. And when and you're helpful, right? So it's like there's three of us that were camping together, and so all three of us were just like participating in some way. Like, what can I do to help the situation? How can we work together as a team? And that's a different type of energy. And if I can bring that, and it's funny because like you'll shift into that when, like in a survival situation, it's like, oh, let me, like, how can I get resourceful right now? But how many times does that happen in your relationship or in your business? And you just want to, like, you know, dig your feet into the ground and be like, fuck this. Right? Like, I mean, and it's true. And how we want to give up. But when it comes down to like, you're out there in different kinds of conditions, right? It could be a life and death situation. You're out in the
Absolutely. It
sun.
was for some
Yeah, and
people.
you just
Yeah.
like immediately like thoughts kick in and you're like, okay, like what can I do to make this like the best experience possible? And how do I fucking survive? Right? Because
Right.
there were a lot of people, a lot of new people this year that I saw out there that didn't understand. Like a lot of people thought this was a festival. This is not a festival. This is a big community. And so if they come out there unprepared and they don't bring a lot of the resources that they need, and then they don't know that,
They
hey,
don't
a lot of
know.
other people have resources, go ask, go talk to
Yeah.
people. It's a
I mean,
community.
it's the same like that, but how has that how has that energy made your relationship what it is today compared to before? Because it still amazes me, guys. You don't understand. It still amazes me, right? To know Miss Palura. I mean, I know a lot of women that had that same mentality, but to see the change in the relationships, who she is, the energy she brings, the positivity she brings, and the gratefulness. How is that, and it's like we were just saying, she's a certain age right now. Right? I see some other women like just hitting what they call the wall right now about relationships, finding a man and fighting. But if you're not prepared and you don't have the right energy for it, you won't attract the right man. Or you might, right?
Right.
Speak on that because I mean, her post is so good. It's like when I read Miss Carrie's post, I'm like, man, she's been through it and she's figured it out. Helping other women figure it out is a thing, and part of it is having that energy. Break that thing down for us because
Well,
there's a lot of women watching right now.
yeah, and I think a lot of it too is it's like and I still can do this. Like I live in my head a lot where it's like, okay, let
Of
me
course,
plan for the worst. Like what could happen? And yes, to a degree, like I do get to plan and be smart about it, but at the same time, I get to trust myself. And so it's not about
ooh,
showing
nice,
up out there and it being perfect, right? I get to trust
nice.
myself that I anticipated the situations that could possibly occur, right? I get to trust myself that I'm with two people that have years of experience out there that also have made appropriate choices to set us up to win.
Oh, setting up to win.
Like that
Nice.
they set us up to win. I set myself up to win by choosing to be in that situation with both of them, right? Like I wouldn't go out
Right,
with a new
right,
person.
right.
Are you kidding me? And having that confidence within myself and understanding that like it it's not going to be the perfect scenario, and it is what it is. How can I respond in the most effective way every single time something happens, right? Because if I truly trust myself, that means I truly trust my partner. I truly trust my
True.
friends that are with me.
100. 100.
Everybody's looking out for everybody. If I really trust the people around me, and it's okay to be in a vulnerable position and ask for help, it's totally okay. If
How does it compare to in your relationship? That whole scenario, if you take that same mindset into your relationships, into your marriage, into whoever you're trying to groom yourself, how does that relate? Because that's deep, Carrie. That's really deep. And most women, most men, anybody in relationships miss that.
I think we get to remind ourselves of why we chose our partners, why we're in the relationships that we're in, because there had to be some type of, there was a level of trust there, right? A
Interesting.
level of,
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
of trust within myself, because why did I choose this person? So if I choose this person and I'm constantly questioning them and their motives, like, why am I in that relationship? What is it? What is the payoff that I'm receiving? Because I'm getting a payoff.
Okay. Okay. But that
Um,
makes complete sense. But how does it compare to the old Carrie? Explain that.
Oh, so the old Carrie would have always the older version of me, I would have challenged the entire situation, would have challenged every single choice that everyone was making, would have provided all the reasons why it wasn't going to work.
Ah, you was
Like that
looking
might
for
not
that
work.
crap.
That might not work. What's that?
Right.
And you think about it, like think about a little child. And I was sharing this with a client yesterday. A little child when they first take their first steps. Like everybody around is like, yes, and they're cheering and they're like, cool, that sounds like that's great. Look what you're doing, right? If they fall, it's like, okay, cool, like get back up. Let's go. When you get into uh adulthood, like that cheering section changes.
Oh,
Like
absolutely. Yeah.
people aren't cheering you on. You go to start a business, you go to get in a relationship, and your friends want to tell you all the reasons why it's probably not going to work, right?
Correct.
And so it's like that, constantly reminding yourself that, hey, I get to be in this childlike wonder and experience and celebration all the time. And if I treat every situation that way, I can't lose.
Let me ask you this. Do you think men actually like that type of stuff? Or do you think something differently, knowing you're with Abel now? Because how the dynamics of it, from the modern man to old style dudes or whatever stuff, there's a big disconnect. What's your opinion on that? Because that's interesting to me. Because when I see these videos about these people on TikTok and shit, the whole thing went to crap. But you figured it out. But it's like, how does that? What's your opinion on that?
Well, I think, yes, men want to be celebrated and be appreciated, right?
Hmm.
And so the way that I respond means a lot. So when I respond from neediness, if I respond from fear, if I respond critical, like that's not going to be received well. I'm not going to get the result that I'm looking for. But if I can come in with appreciation, if I respond from like worthiness, right? Like, if I'm really, and what I mean by worthiness is like I'm grounded. And when you're grounded, that's when you're magnetic because you will come from appreciation and
Ooh,
gratitude. And
magnetic.
that is the attractive part, right? Like, no matter
Right.
the situation, you're hot as fuck in the desert, you think you're gonna die. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're
Right.
just like, oh my God, like, thank you for being prepared. A lot of these things, like, didn't work, but thank you for being prepared, right? That shows security. It also keeps you curious because you're in the possibility of like, okay, what else can we create next? We have a lot of resources here. I'm
Ah,
receptive. I'm not
right. Right.
resisting their ideas. I'm being in contribution. I'm offering, like, there's so many different ways to like that is the magnetic piece of constantly being in the possibility of being in contribution and being appreciative for what is being provided by men or by whoever I'm with. I mean, I was with two men, but it was just, the dynamic is so different. Like complaining doesn't work. And I think
Yeah.
being in a situation like that, it shows you where I can sit out here. Like, what would it happen if I literally was in the desert by myself and I sat around and complained, right? Nothing
Oh
would
yeah.
happen.
It would be
Nothing would
like
happen.
that thing, you how those feminist women would say like, they'd rather be with the bear than 100 men or something like that. That stupid quote. I was like, what the fuck is that? But hey, what's up, Sasha? Glad to join us. But that situation you was in the desert, it basically is life.
Yes.
If when you look at the big picture, what happened to you at the Burning Man and everything else, it's life. But
Yeah.
you magnetically had a partner that was well prepared. He protected you. He provided. He did everything
Yes.
for you, and you showed the way. There's like that's when you know you can last in
Yeah.
your relationship, right? Because even when you look at a lot of those things, even when you look at a lot of those men that, if you look at the difference between the men nowadays and the women nowadays and what it is maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, it's a different, completely different, but they haven't
Hmm.
figured that stuff out. Explain to me this part of the trip when you have one of your pictures, like when you took a picture of the place, that what most women miss is they think that glow is looking flawless. You mean,
Oh,
is that a modern woman thing, or they haven't got into the nitty gritty yet?
well, it's funny because like when I was out there, it was, you know, y- you're out there with people that have been going for years, and you're also out there with new people, and you're out there with influencers, and all of the beautiful and lovely photographs that everybody takes out there.
Hmm.
Um, yes, they're beautiful and they're lovely, but it does not give you the full,
Spectrum.
yeah, the full spectrum of the experience.
Right.
Like you don't see the behind the scenes of what it took to get that one photo. Like people
Oh
will
yeah.
probably be out there for
Yes.
hours, right? Like they think
Yes.
it's about, I have to make everything look so beautiful. And it's like, really, for me, the lesson is kind of like, what are you made of out here? What can you see the beauty in all of it? And
Yes.
sitting in the discomfort, it really reminded me,
Yeah.
sitting in the heat, sitting in the discomfort was kind of like, cool, this is like sitting with some uncomfortable emotions, right?
Correct. Correct. Correct.
It was like sitting with some uncomfortable emotions and just kind of like, okay, like how I'm not going to die sitting with the uncomfortable emotions. I'm not going to die sitting out here in the heat. Like I actually have resources, right? And it just took some creativity, but it really was just about, it's not about everything. Like it was like the perfect idea of life. It's not going to go perfect.
Yeah.
It's all about
That
how
was
you respond.
that's so because that's when I went to say puss. I said I looked at the pictures, I looked at the post, and I said you went into an emotional echo chamber of yourself out there. This is
Oh
why
my God, yeah.
I wanted to talk about this so deeply. This was yesterday. I was revved up, but you had construction workers going on. She told me we can't do it because they're working on the house or something. I'm like, okay, and these things was stewing, right? Because when I seen all this stuff, right? When you look at the energy, what it takes, what you went through, you was in an echo chamber. Doc always talks about it. If you're in an echo chamber and you have this misbeliefs and thoughts, you either can make yourself or you're going to break yourself or you're going to create something that's just totally unworthy of anything, right? Does Abel or the people that was around, when they provided the opportunities, and how does that relate what happened to you in the desert to your life and your relationship?
Whew, I think the lesson. Oh, I want to give a little shout out here to Todd. Hey, Todd, Burning Man's over. I am back. That's my
All
my
right, brother
coach.
Burning Man. Oh,
My
yep.
coach. Um, oh my God.
Love it.
Now I just lost your question,
Okay.
Gordon. My mind went blank for a minute.
Yeah, it happens.
I'm so happy to be back.
Yes. The question was, how did that situation in the desert relate to how your relationship is with Abel? Because You went into an echo chamber. You was okay with your emotions,
Yeah.
but I remember there was a time you would have lost your shit completely.
Yeah.
So now
Um,
you're accepting it, and that energy that you're portraying with your relationship groomed you for. If you can handle that, you can handle anything coming through life, coming forward.
yeah, it's really all about like adapting to the situation and how can I be in contribution? And I think that like that was one of the big lessons for me this year was at any point when anything happens, even when things are going smoothly, how can like I get to be in contribution. I'm always in contribution. And how can I show up as my best self to provide that to the space, right? It's not about being
Nice.
perfect, like it's
Never.
not about getting
Yeah,
it right,
never.
not about getting it perfect, and I'll tell you, like being out there camping, like, listen, I glamp, you know what I mean? Like camping is not my thing. Um, I didn't know what to do. I had to ask a lot of questions. That was really vulnerable, and it was at the same time I was like, hey guys, like they're building a shade structure. I'm like, tell me what to do. I'm just your helper. Like, tell me what to do. But I used to want to try to control it and tell them how to do it, even though it wasn't my stuff. Do you
But
know
that
what I
was your
mean?
masculine side.
That was my masculine side. I just walked out there and I'm like, okay, cool. Let me grab some gloves. Tell me what to do. Like, like,
Let me
uh,
okay. Here's a big question for you, right? Knowing that you have the two sides of how you used to be with a feminist masculine side, is it easier now that you have a man that you're subservient to in a way, or grateful for, or which one was better, or does it have
oh
its
man,
place?
it's trust. It's so like
Oh,
and it goes back to trusting me. Like, I trust
okay,
me. Like, I picked him for a reason,
right,
right?
of course.
I chose him for a reason. And I trust myself, so I trust my choices. And
Mm-hmm.
because I trust my choices, I trust him. I trust the people that I hang around. I've done some major cleaning up in my relationships, my friendships,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah, and so
Firsthand, I've
it's
seen it.
yeah, and it's like, okay, so I've done all of this cleaning up. Like, I trust the people that I surround myself with, right? Because they invite me to rise, they invite and they pull a different level, a different version of me out. And that's why
Oh,
I
that's
continue
big,
to keep them in my life, right?
big.
Because the right man doesn't fall for perfection, right? It's like
You
he,
can. You gotta get with the flaws. It comes with everything,
right,
right?
right.
But that was perfect because, like, when you go in your quote over there, some women nowadays miss the mark because the energy they're thinking they have to look perfect.
Right.
The right man, the right person, the right one they want to share their life with, right? And this, I mean, if Sasha's still watching this, right? This is why I look up to my friend Sasha and her husband Jonathan because I've seen them go through it while we was doing our marketing thing. But we've both grown and stuff. But I applaud them for it, and I always look up to them for their dynamic. Now, when you have friends that their energy is putting the best out of you, like
Mhm.
I'll give you somebody told me just the other day, said, Gordon, you always been like this. You always put the best out of everyone, no matter what, because of your how you were, right? And that energy is really catchy. But when you see
Yes.
somebody else grab it and hold on to it and you see their life change, that's where I'm so curious about a lot of things because I see a lot of people just don't get it also,
Mhm.
which is to me is very sad. When you walk into a room now, Carrie, right? Because when you're the prize without saying a word, is it confidence, energy, or just because of your wisdom?
Oh, I think it's like it's all of it. It's
Right.
yeah, it's all of it.
Nice.
It's knowing
Nice.
and it's also knowing, hey, we're all equal. Like there's no hierarchy here, right? Like walking into a room and just being in full acceptance of everyone, that's magnetic, right? That's being in acceptance of every single person, regardless of where they come from, and with no judgment. Like that is attractive.
Very being,
That's
I mean,
very attractive.
that's very because it shows that you can be vulnerable,
Hmm.
shows you can be giving, it can shows you have no judgment of anybody else
Yeah.
that's coming into it. Now, knowing that's what you've been through out of the desert, because this is a cool story, right?
Yeah.
What would you what would you tell your old self, when women out there, maybe 20 years ago, that this would happen, right? How would the old Carrie handle it? I like to see two sides. I guys, I like to see two sides of her because once I would have been a wreck, now she can handle everything, and that's the part in between that just it amazes me.
You know, I think the what I would suggest to my old self would be surrender. And 4 years ago, I didn't know what surrender was. Like I still was in the fight of wanting to fight everything, wanting to be right all the time, right? Um, but just like being out there demands another level of surrender because you have no control. You have the illusion that you have control, but
The
there's
illusion.
like this year took away my comfort, my control, like the certainty that I like absolutely need these things. Like I absolutely need AC to survive. Absolutely not true.
You found
My
out.
Yeah, I like my power isn't in the circumstances, but it's how I choose to hold
Deal with it.
myself through the circumstances. That's where all the
Aha.
power is.
See, this is the cool part.
Yeah, because like it was like the desert was a complete mirror of my life. Chaos will come, comfort will leave, control will slip through my hands. But
Love
when
it.
I am rooted in myself, if I am when I'm grounded, I make good choices. Like nothing is going to like throw me off. So it's so
Right.
important for me to really reset myself and keep myself regulated and grounded and keep my energy well.
Right. Right. Because that's a perfect analogy because that's what related to me for everything that I seen when I seen your post, the desert and everything that happened. Because I started laughing, right? It's like because
Of
last week
course.
you was telling me we're gonna do this, we're gonna be in style, we're gonna have the AC. As long as I got AC, I'm good. Then I see in your post, your AC smoke, I'm like, oh, I wonder how she handled this shit. I mean, how is it gonna relate to relate? And then the boundaries of the energy, because if you came with negative energy in that space,
Whew.
woo, talk about that one.
Oh my God. And there was a moment too, I remember like when Ava was like, hey, the air conditioner doesn't work. And there was a pause, right? Because it was kind of like, how's she gonna handle this, right? Like seriously. Like I picked up on that immediately
Angela
and
would have lost her shit. She would have. We would turn around and whatever. To guarantee.
I was like, okay. We tried a couple of little things and then it was like, you know what? It's gonna be all right. And we're gonna figure it out and it's okay. And we'll just
Right.
make some adjustments. And we did. And so yes, it what I recognized about myself is like
Okay.
staying in the solution of everything.
Absolutely.
Like, how can I add to or create value or add to the
In the
solution?
situation.
Because sitting around complaining isn't going to do anything except get your ass kicked out of camp. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I
who
mean,
wants to
and it
really
relates to like that in relationships.
It does. Like
Exactly.
if I'm in a relationship with you and all you do is complain about everything, like I don't want to be in a relationship with you. Let me kick you the fuck out of camp. You gotta go.
So let me ask you this though: why do women always complain? In a way, is it expressive? Is it they don't have the work done? They haven't figured out in their echo chamber. Why is that?
So my personal experience is sometimes I want to express myself and I just want to get it out.
Okay.
However,
Okay.
there is a level of respect, and I actually just had a conversation today with someone about it.
Okay.
I did. It was so great.
Please do.
One of
Please.
my girlfriends, and we shared about clients coming into the space and wanting to complain like the entire time that they're on a call with you. And she said to me, she was like, you know what really supported me is when someone gave me a time limit. And I was like, oh my God, I
Oh,
remember my
okay.
very first coach did that for me. She was
Yeah.
like, okay, you know what, Carrie? You got 10 minutes.
Oh,
You
that's
get
a
it
long
all.
time still.
What's that?
10 minutes is a long time.
10 minutes is a long time. You got 10 minutes and she would let me just and she would put me on mute because she didn't want to hear any of it. But it was awesome because she let me
Let you
get it
vent.
out of my system and then we had a timer and the 10 minutes was up and it was okay, cool. So where do we want to go now? Like let's get into the
Ah,
solution. And I'm not taking on all your shit either, but I understand that you want to express yourself. So, however it is that you want to express yourself, whether you need to write it out, whether you want to verbalize it to someone, and it's not that I don't want to listen to you, but I respect myself enough that I'm not going to allow you to dump all your shit onto me. And I
Right.
was like, oh, wow. And that was one of my very first lessons around being in the solution because complain like that's where I learned like complaining doesn't matter. Like I think I'm complaining to you so that you can help me solve my problem, but that it's really keeping me, the more that I repeat the problem over and over again is leaving me in the problem. So
Yeah.
rather than me saying, "Hey, I'm looking for," like now I say, "Hey, I need a solution. These are the circumstances. Like circumstances don't matter. I can always like prevail through the circumstances. It really is my energy and where I want to lead myself." So now knowing like there are those moments that I'm gonna want that 10 minutes, right? Like sometimes I
Okay.
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
See,
very few.
I'm understanding that.
Yeah, they're few and far between now. Um, and and it's okay.
Right.
I think that that's just a pattern that I had learned clearly, like from my parents. Well, I'm gonna say probably from my mom,
Okay.
because she was a person that complained a lot. My dad was very much in the solution. Like the more that I get to know them, and the more that I work on myself, I understand why the two of them didn't mesh, like didn't work, because he's like, dude, like, okay, there's a problem. Well, let's fix it. But that's men. Men are like, there's a problem. Let me find a solution. Women are like, let me tell you the problem. Right. And then it's like, okay, we'll have a solution for it, for the problem. And like sometimes they're not ready to shift. And the whole
Two
thing is,
different energies.
it's two different energies, it's two different perspectives, and it's understanding that. And so now it's like, okay, once I was able to allow that to land, and I'm not saying I don't fall back into complaining every once in a while because I do. I think everybody does, but it's just understanding that both of our communication styles are different. And when I come to Abel with a problem, expect a solution because he's like not wired to sit and talk about my problem. He's like, okay, well, let's get out of it. Let's get in the solution right away. It's just like me coaching my clients. I do the same thing with my clients. Like, don't come to
But
me with something.
it's so funny to know that
Hmm.
you're gonna get flashback
Yeah,
that type of energy is gonna come back at you.
absolutely.
You know it. How just knowing that because I guess I'm similar, right? I've learned to curb that because it's like sometimes Angie just wants to vent. Sometimes I gotta listen to the problem. Sometimes like okay, then because don't always try to solve problems. I'm not one of your clients. He goes, I'm not one of your people you talk to, right? Is you get the same thing?
Yes. Oh my God, it's so funny. Like, because a lot of times I won't set the tone. Like when I go to set the tone
Okay,
of a
okay.
conversation, it's like I get to let him know, hey, I just need to be heard. Or sometimes knowing how busy he is and how other things he has going on, I'm like, who else can I call? Like who else in my arsenal can call and say, hey man, I just need to like get something out. And I would like a fresh perspective, you know?
Okay, but that's a good tone though.
Yeah, because complaining is going to keep me stuck, right? But being in the
True.
solution is what's going to move me forward. Complaining is going to be about like, why does this happen to me? No one ever shows up for me the way I want. Work is exhausting. Life is unfair, blah, 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 right? Like I'm going to stay in that. Like the thing that I realize is that the words that come out of my mouth are so important because they will set the tone for what's going to happen next. So if I'm complaining, like
True.
I'm gonna stay in that problem. But my solution energy, like if it's like, okay, what's mine to shift here? How can I communicate this clearly? What standard do I need to honor for myself first, right? Am I grounded? Like get my energy checked first because complaining is easy and it lets you off the hook because it keeps you in your fucking victim energy, but it never creates any kind of change. Right? Like, so
True.
being in the
100.
solution is what's powerful. That's where your self
Yes.
leadership is. And
Yeah.
like the energy of being self led, and I call it the prize energy, um,
Nice.
is
I like
like she doesn't need men to fix things for her. She doesn't wait for life to fix things, for love to fix things, for men to fix things. Like she goes first. She chooses to be in the solution herself, right? And then that's what
oh,
she's
this
going to
that's
attract.
deep.
Yeah,
That's good.
because she's
That's good.
choosing to be in the solution, she's going to create a different outcome every single time.
Correct. But from all this that you've learned, Man, it's just amazing. It's just amazing to know that you understand a lot of that.
Mhm.
5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, definitely I would have carried whoops. But that energy,
Yeah, true story. True story.
but the energy that it's how many different types of energy would you say is the most predominant or dominant in a relationship?
Oh, um, what do you mean by types of energy?
Okay, you have like you said, you had your complaining energy.
Oh yeah.
What bucket would be all negative energy? And how would you turn that into the positive bucket? Almost like explain that to us men and
Hmm.
explain to the women that are just always in that negative complaining energy bucket. Because
So,
that's a deep one.
man, like, yeah, I like that you said it like that. There's like the negative bucket because that's like the chaotic energy.
Correct.
Um, that's
It's
the
all,
scattered, rushed,
yeah.
reactive energy, right? Like that's the I'm constantly on. Nothing feels like enough. I'm under a lot of pressure.
Oh, see,
Um,
that's the energy I'm looking for. That type
yeah,
of stuff, right?
like I'm not present because I'm in a reactive state all the time. That's
Oh,
chaotic because it's no control. It's just like all over the place. It's very
right,
scattered.
right.
There's performative energy, like, oh,
Oh,
I got to say and do the right thing, right? I got to prove to you that I belong here. Because I'm trying to control you. I'm really trying to manage how you view me. There's
nice.
that there's that performative
Nice.
energy, and that's the energy that looks beautiful on the outside. It's like super polished, but it's disconnected inside. Like I'm
Is it?
completely disconnected
It's
from
false.
myself. It's false. It's like a
Okay.
facade.
Okay. Interesting.
There is a desperate energy, right? Like where I'm chasing, I'm clinging, I'm wanting to be picked. Like pick me. That's my pick me energy. Desperate energy is pick me energy. Um, this is when like the fear of being alone or what if this never happens run the show, right? So now that keeps me in the chaotic energy because I'm like in pick me, oh my god, because I'm so afraid to be alone and I'm never present with my life, and I'm making choices based on fear rather than grounded confidence, and so I'm just attracting more chaos. I'm attracting more
Ooh.
desperation.
Oh, okay. Is that that's the main ones? The four? What else?
And
Because this is game right here.
oh yeah, so those are like the three main types of energy that I've had or that I've had to work through.
Okay.
And then you finally get to your self-led energy, right? Like
Mm.
that is the root, the groundedness, and that's where you become attractive, magnetic, because you are clear on your worth, you're clear on your standards, you are you trust yourself, you trust your choices, and like that's what I call the prize energy. Self-led energy is the prize energy,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes.
And your results, meaning your circumstances, will always mirror the energy you operate from. So it's like when I take my clients through this, it's like we get to really be clear on what energy you're operating from. Where you made this choice from what energy, because you got the
Okay.
result that you got based on the energy that come from, essentially.
So you gave three negative chaos energies, but one self-love energy,
Yeah,
right?
it overrides it all.
Does it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
the
Nice, nice.
self-led
But
energy
you're absolutely
overrides
right.
all of it.
You're absolutely right. Once you figure it out, like I tell
Yes,
Doc and our clients and stuff like that, you hold the keys to everything. You control the door,
1000%.
the lock, the key, the doorway, what's in the back of it. It's just the momentum you take to take that first step. Now, all that energy that you describe is the energy by holding your foot back from going through that door,
Absolutely.
putting it in the key, turning it. You have control. And a lot of people look at me like I'm crazy because it's like, what do you mean? It's this person. I said, you haven't figured it out yet. You haven't been through stuck in the desert type of thing with no AC yet, like this. But
The self-led energy, the grounded energy is this is when you decide how you want to feel. Like I want to feel this way and then you create it rather
absolutely.
than try to chase it or put it onto somebody else. or a job or an outcome, right? Like you're like, oh, I'm going to create this. That's how powerful you are. And when you
Right,
step,
right, right.
when you really allow yourself to feel that self-led energy, and that's going to require you leading yourself through some difficult moments, right? Like
Oh, yeah,
especially
that's absolutely.
the moments when nobody's watching you. I mean, it's created in the tiny moments of your habits, your boundaries, the way you fucking talk to yourself. It's about taking radical responsibility for your
Woo!
choices, your direction, and your own personal like radiance. And that's it's not about being hyper independent and or doing it all alone, but it's just about being someone who doesn't abandon themselves.
That is you just went on a whole
So I went on a
uh
tangent.
no, you went on a whole Dr. Carrie Paluro show right there. Dude, that's how good it was because it made so much sense. And for the women out there that don't have this type of energy, are still trying to figure it out. This is where you can watch the replay on this, or you can reach out to Miss Paluro to figure out how she can get that energy to you so that you become comfortable with yourself. Because you might be in a situation where that energy that you have is not getting you nowhere. Or you're thinking that you might be coming to a certain age and you still trying to figure it out, but you're not attracting. Like I watched some things at night, and Andrea tells me, "Why do you watch this stuff?" I said, "Because this is what's going on in the world
Mhm.
that nobody is talking about. Because I've seen it firsthand with some of my clients and my guests. But when you look at the type of energies in your relationships within yourself, who holds the keys, do you have the keys, and you know how, like what you said, setting your boundaries and everything else so that you can move forward, that's when the world opens up. And I mean, it not just opens up for you, it opens up for the people that's a bonus in your life, the people that's
Yes.
around you, right? Because it opens up a veil, right? Think of it this way: you could be wearing some sort of ridiculous glasses all your life, and all of a sudden you figured it out from the inside out, not the outside in. Because even like your post, right? It says they miss people miss, or even like the women, the glow is looking flawless because that's the glasses that you had on.
Yeah.
You want to look flawless, you want to look perfect, when actually the imperfect is the perfect situation for you to grow,
Oh,
right?
yes, 1000%. Oh my God.
And if you haven't been through it, then you have a lot more growing to do. And the thing is, once you figure that part out, then you can move forward. Now,
Yeah.
if you still hold on to that old energy, like I said, that bucket of energy of chaos, and you still want to hold on to that crap because that's what you know,
Hmm.
you will never get nowhere. The bucket going to turn into a 55-gallon drum.
Yeah, I mean, it's about like you're leading yourself through it all. Um, I mean, it's not not collapsing when the circumstances disappoint you, when they aren't what you imagined, like no AC in the middle of the hot desert, right? Like, don't collapse, right? But that's your choice to rise in that moment and not sit back and wait for permission, right? Like sit back and complain and cry about it. But it's like that's kind of like outsourcing my power. I mean, not kind
True.
of, it is. That's outsourcing my power onto
Absolutely.
other
Yeah.
people. But it's just like, okay, cool. I'm not collapsing in this moment, but I am going to rise and be in the solution. And then that actually making moves like that build your confidence, build your conviction, and that is what builds the trust within you to know that you can handle anything. I mean, you move, you lead, you embody. It's like that's the self-led energy that makes you the prize, right? Because that's where everybody will come and meet you at that level. Men, opportunities, love, and it's they will meet you at the level you hold for yourself.
That
Period.
energy dictates who you attract.
Absolutely. A thousand
Right.
percent. So look around at your friends because that's going to
Yep.
tell you exactly how you're showing up.
Yep. I'm 100%. But that comes up. Let me ask you, give me three energies or techniques men should look out for in their relationships.
Wow. Okay.
And we'll
Like
end
what they
with this.
desire.
I mean, give us, if you have a woman like this, she's putting this type of energy, what can you do?
Whew.
Ooh,
Okay.
and for a woman that might be an old you that's got to change. So you got those three things because you know women gonna listen to you, men might take some advice from you, right? So what would be your first three for men? Like this.
Okay, so we'll start with the very first energy that I spoke about, which is kind of like
Nice.
the desperate
Okay.
the desperate energy. Let's talk about that one. So when you have the desperate energy around you, like don't feed into it. And that's one of the things that
Okay.
supported me with Abel. Like he never fed into my stuff. Um,
True. Okay.
you can
I won't do it either.
and it's not about words. So like you can still reassure your partner with consistency, not overcompensating. Not, oh my God, because that's
Different.
proving. They're two different
Yes.
things. Like
Two different things.
I'm showing up the exact same way regardless because the right move is being steady. It's like the steady presence, but I'm
Okay.
not
Nice.
rewarding the chaotic energy. I'm not rewarding her
Oh man, you heard
chaos,
that? This is from a woman.
right? Like I don't
Yes.
want to reward that. And in
Oh,
the beginning when he was like that with me, I was like, this guy's being a dick because it didn't land
you didn't
immediately.
understand it.
I was like, he doesn't care. And then I'm like, no, what
It's
really
not that.
landed for me is he cares about himself enough to set a boundary with me. I'm not taking on your shit.
And that's what in subconsciously you think women like that out of a man? A real one.
I know for myself, I
Yes.
was ready for it.
Okay, he was ready for it.
I was
Nice.
ready for it. When I wasn't ready for it, if anyone, like for
Oh,
one, no man would have come into my space at that time because I would not have attracted that kind of a man.
true.
That's the truth.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Um, and then
100% true.
if men are faced with a woman that's very defensive, um,
Oh,
don't
defense.
feed the
Yep.
fight. So stay calm, not combative. And
Nice.
so that's one of the things he would be with me because like when I would get defensive, I like now I can feel it in my body, but I was so disconnected from my body, I would react, and he wouldn't like my reaction would not cause him to react. He was able to lead with with clarity and be honest with me at the same time, right? Like he um he knew that I was looking for safety and
Mm-hmm.
I felt like the safety would be in winning the argument. Like that was the disconnect I had. Like the safety was in winning. And so it was kind of like, well, you can be right if you want to be right. Like he was very calm. Like
Oh yeah, I mean,
you're
and
attached to people.
he's an attorney.
Yeah. You can be right
So
if you want to be
he'll be
right.
like, "You want to be right? Could
Um,
be right." Yeah, real calm.
and yeah, and so it was just kind of like, but then he would present a new idea to me of like, what I really think you
Yes,
might be looking for
nice.
is some safety there. Like right now,
Oh
your energy is
man,
a little off because you don't feel safe in this moment. And then
too
he'd
reactionary.
never find a solution. What he would always say to me is, how can you create safety within yourself right now, Carrie? And I was like,
Oh,
that's why
oh,
you're here.
yes.
And he was like, no,
He's
no,
like,
no.
hey, hey, I bet your mouth came down like this.
Yeah, like take me out of it. Like, how can you create the safety within yourself? Because that's your responsibility. It is not mine, and I'm not taking it on. So go handle that and then come back and we can have a conversation, but I'm not going to fight with you.
Nice. Now
Yeah.
give me one for a woman, and we'll close on that.
One for one. What do you
A
mean? Like
woman, yes, about a
with this?
situation, how to attract using the energy, your glow to attract the right man.
Oh my God. That's when you embody the self-led energy, right? Like you lean in, you rise up, this is when you're in celebration of yourself. And this is where your relationship becomes, it feels like connected and and magical because I'm not requiring that a man or my relationship fix me. Right? Like I'm not requiring that anybody else fix me because I know that I have the power within myself. And because the right man for me is not going to be threatened by the way that I show up. He's actually going to be inspired by it, right? And
Nice. Yep.
he's going to rise himself. And so it really is just like, hey, lean in, rise up for yourself. Like trust your like create habits of choices that you're making that you would create trust in yourself because the truth is that nobody can do it like you. You know, like no
Absolutely.
one
Yeah,
can run
100.
my life, only I
Yeah.
can. And I get to trust myself that, oh my God, I've survived 48 years. I can continue to survive on my own. And do I want it to be the most enjoyable experience, or do I want it to create a lot of pain and chaos for myself and choose from there? I mean, it's really that simple.
That's
It's not that
that's the
hard.
most perfect. Will said, ladies, if you want to work with Miss Carrie Paluro, reach out to her on all social media platforms. If you want to watch the playlist, it's under Boundaries and Brotherhood with myself, Doc Keith, and Dr. Keith Fairclough. But on her playlist, all of this is going to be into this in our school community. But hit the playlist, reach out to us. We're here to help you guys attain a life that you can be happy with yourself. It took years to get to this point. What if we can shorten that, right? I'm your
Yes,
host.
collapse time.
Yep. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for joining us. We had a special edition Wednesday today. Join us next week, Tuesday, 10 o'clock, same time. Aloha, Gordon Watt from Boundaries and Brotherhood. Carrie, end it.
We'll see you next week.
Yes. Don't no more deserts for a little while. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Boop, we're gonna end that. Let's end stream here. Let me pause. Boop. That was fun. Again, back
Oh
to
my
our
God,
normal.
that was fun. Yeah, I like when you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna pick this.